Hello and welcome back to the Comic Lounge. Today's episode is pretty much a early November pickups slash most of all of October haul pickups. So I got quite a bit to kind of show, and again there's some internet pickups, meaning like stuff off of eBay and so on. So I'm going to be as quick as possible with some of these, but I might have at least a little bit to kind of talk about. Either way, all of that will be after this. The last couple videos I did were pretty much October themed, but again, there was only a couple, and they were kind of like one of those spur-of-the-moment ideas, but eventually, I did pretty decent, but for the most part, I personally would have preferred if I had did all of it throughout, but I just wasn't having a whole bunch of time, and again, this channel's still fairly brand new, so there's only so much I can do within a brand new channel, and as much that I have within my personal collection. But either way, here, throughout most of October, all I was doing was picking up stuff from the shop here in town, again at Howard the Gaming Zone, and of course plenty of stuff off of eBay, and that's what this stack is. So let's get to at least the first, because I have a couple at least. Again, this is mostly going to be, I think, a stack of Marvel and DC with a couple indie titles, and the first one is going to be a very obvious one, so let's get to the obvious one. Again, character, I'm just going to continue to always pick up brand new, mostly this is only the mainline ones, not the, let's say, like Scorched or King Spawn or whatnot, but here we have, again, is Spawn 369, so, and of course, this month I will be receiving a copy of 370, so I'll pretty much have 361 through 370, but still I've got about, 351 through, or 350 through 370. But again, this is the B cover variant from artist Danny Earls, because for some reason at the beginning I liked what I saw from this one. But then actually, when I finally looked at it, I really noticed how kind of awkward the kind of, if you really notice by the legs or the feet, whatever, the way that everything is like in place, it just it seems very awkward how it's kind of drawn, because you almost be thinking, is his legs coming out of his one thigh or something? It almost makes it seem like it might be AI, but I don't think so. I think it's still fairly artwork. But it is odd. It's a little odd one. But still, I do like the coloring. It does look fairly old school to an extent. But still, I probably would have, at this point, went with the A variant. But still, nothing wrong with it. Nothing super wrong, just kind of nitpicky more so. Still, it's pretty cool. Again, it's Spawn 369. So, again, just keeping on going. Keeping with the numbers until we get 400. So, again, I enjoy it. Spawn 369. The next one up is more of one of those, what is it, like spec titles, depending on what's going to be the value for this one, because this is one, normally I don't always do it, but I decided, alright, I'll do it. Because Netflix picked this up for both a live-action movie and a animated TV series. And so what it is Keanu Reeves' first ever comic book. It is for Berserker, of course, with teaming up with artist Ron Garney, and could never really get the artist's name on the back, because again, the way he drew it. But then this is Berserker #1. This is, of course, for the first series, which was a 12-issue run. But again, this is one that got picked up for Netflix, and Keanu Reeves, of course, is on board, of course, because it's his character, it's his story. So He's, of course, going to be playing the character and going to be voicing the character for the anime TV series or whatever that's going to be streaming on Netflix. So at this point, you never know. Again, Keanu Reeves is a very popular actor at this point with all the John Wick films and the previously Matrix and all that. And you know me, I'm also, I am a Keanu Reeves fan, but again, this came out in 2021. So at that time, I just was not buying comic books at all in 2021. And that's like still, whenever this came out, is getting close to post-COVID. But it's a beginning of breaking free from COVID period. There you have it. Still, since then, what you mostly see online are going to be the variants, like the foil variants and so on. But it's becoming a little bit tougher now to kind of find the main one online. But once in a while you will see it, and it's not going to be that expensive, as at least according to key collectors, where they say it's supposed to be worth $10. But I found this one for at least $2 in very good condition, so it's pretty much close to a near mint copy. So there you have it, Berserker #1, Keanu Reeves' first ever comic book. So, and again, artist Ron Garney. Can't go on. Again, I got some early Ron Garney in my collection anyways, because use Marvel Comics. Alright, so those were the two indie pickups that I got off of eBay. Now let's get into the stuff that I was picking up at the shop all throughout October. And as you're going to tell, and there might be a couple titles I might have shown already in my couple Halloween or spooky sort of themed videos. But again, these were all the stuff I was picking up, and you're going to tell this is nothing but horror themed. So here we have is a few ghosts. So again, I picked up previously that I showed, was it at the end of September, which was Ghosts number 104. Here, I've been eyeing it ever since I seen it there. But it's not in great condition. It's practically more of a low-grade copy. But still, you find these mostly in low grades in some cases. If you do, you get lucky finding one in mid-grade. But it's number 51. With a very, very cool Ernie Chan horror cover art. So there you have it. Ghosts number 51. And this, I think, this is the last Ghosts comic to have the original DC, at least the Bronze Age DC logo, before eventually, by the next issue, switches to the Bullet logo, the more iconic DC Comics logo. But there you have it. Number 51. Again, it is very much a low-grade copy. If you can see a lot of the wear on it, the spine ticks and the creases and some of that on here, you can tell. Still, for $5, I could not pass up on it. It was a great cover. Here we have is number 55. So here again, we switch to the Bullet logo. And this one's got, a Luis Dominguez cover. Again, I think he beats Nick Cardy as far as the dominating artist on this title. I mean, of all the Bronze Age DC horror titles, Luis Dominguez is one that dominated the Ghosts series for certain. Close to 66 issues or something. He really dominated this series, and again, that's a great cover. Also very bleak if you end up knowing what's one of the stories in here and how kind of dark it is. Of course, it deals with the Nazis, so here you have it. It is a very bleak cover, by the way. So, still, this was I think it was $6 actually. This was, I think, was 6 or 7, but I liked it and I had to grab it. So, Ghost number 55, and here is number 95. Now this one's not a Luis Dominguez, nor is it a some sort of Nick Cardy or artist. It's someone a little different, but again, it's number 95 with, of course, the Ghostbreaker or Dr. 13 on the cover there. Golden Age character for certain. But here he is. All of a sudden, from here on out, it kind of becomes some of his. At least you'll get a story featuring him, and then a couple with the Spectre. So this is kind of one where they're trying towards the end of the run that it's kind of trying to dip into almost trying to dip into the superhero, but not quite much. But there you have it. This one's actually got a couple stories written by Carl Wessler, who actually is the writer that originally wrote the original The Switch, which was from one of the Tales from the Crypt comic book series that got turned into a very famous episode for, I believe, was either the first or second season of Tales from the Crypt, which was directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Carl Wessler here, the original writer of that particular story, has a couple stories written in this book. So that's very cool. And of course, Paul Kupperberg writing the Dr. 13 Ghostbreaker story. So very cool nonetheless. And then this was a $5 pickup. So yeah, this one's not super bad shape, and it is a direct edition. This is by the time everything was becoming more of a direct edition. But so it's very cool to fit one of these later Bronze Age horror titles in a direct. Now here's one I did get to show. One of the episodes. So it is Swamp Thing number 18. And this again is from the original series. So as you can tell, it is the original DC logo from the 70s. And again, this I believe is actually getting close to the end of Nestor Redondo's time as the artist on this series. Because again, eventually he was like the one that took over from Bernie Wrightson. And before eventually goes into various different arts. Because they're all like experimenting, trying to keep the series going. But again, this is also some early David Michelini writing, who of course is best known for coming up with Venom with Todd McFarlane. So they have it. Just some Bronze Age Swamp Thing in it. Very good condition, by the way. This is actually a close to a near mint. And again, for like, what, $6? Yeah, this was a steal, alright. This was definitely a steal. So you don't really find a lot of these in this, at least this good a grade. So, had to pick that one up. And here we go. This one was one I had to get offline. Online, I mean. But, this was one of those I swore I thought I would have had a copy, but I didn't. I can never find that I did have a copy of it. So, thankfully, this is still fairly cheap. And with the fact that this character is now being recognized as part of James Gunn's DCU. But it is Deathstroke the Terminator Annual number 2. This is a very good high grade, by the way, and you find a lot of high grades, because this is like, 1993, and this is pretty much the height of the mass-produced stuff. But again, this is the first appearance of Gunfire. And again, it's part of the very lackluster Bloodlines event that mostly took place within the annuals that concluded with the Bloodbath 2-part issue storyline that was up for 2 comics. So there you have it. And again, I've got the first annual for Deathstroke the Terminator, but again, I thought I would have had number 2, but this is the second issue. So again, first appearance of Gunfire. Again, Len Wein and Steve Irwin with, I think this would be the last time that Mike Zeck would actually get to draw the cover for Deathstroke the Terminator, because again, he was getting close to the end anyways with the actual tie-in series that this was tied to. So there you go. Still great condition. Had to have it. Alright, so that's all the DC comic stuff that I've had that I picked up. So let's get into most of the Marvel. This one again I picked up during October, and I don't have a lot of Bronze Age Ghost Rider. I don't even have much other than a reprint of Marvel Spotlight number 5. But this one they were selling for like $5. I think it was 5, yeah. $5 or $6. 7 actually. It was 7. Anyways, it is number 23 in fairly good condition. This was actually during the weird time where Jack Kirby was actually drawing the covers for it. And this is actually the first appearance for the Water Wizard. That character right there, again, makes it on the cover. But also, this is technically considered the first usage of, or at least when Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze uses his powers, whatever, to burn someone else's soul. So that's kind of the first time. And again, this is also some fairly early Jim Shooter writing, by the way. But still, it's pretty good condition. It's more of a decent mid-grade copy. So you have, again, Ghost Rider number 23. So, very awesome. I showed this one during that my October one. It was for like all the cool series to kind of read, and so this one I did show. This is Man-Thing number 19. This is actually the first appearance of the Scavenger character, who actually makes his cover appearance on, again, was it number 21, which that's the first from the Man-Thing first series I actually bought and showed on this channel. But then this is, again, number 19. This one's not as great a shape as the copy that I found of number 21, but it's still close. It's still in pretty decent mid-grade shape for this comic. So again, Man-Thing number 19, and again, I've been trying to get a hold of some of these original first series, and ones that Steve Gerber was the writer for. Gil Kane, though, is actually the cover artist on there as well with number 21, but again, it's Jim Mooney as the interior artist for these, so that was one I had to pretty much pick up. So I've been trying to here and there get some more Man-Thing, whether it be from the first series here or from the second series that had mostly Chris Claremont writing on. And then finally, these were our more early, back to early kind of November pickups, because that was the last of my October. So here's my early one, and I got these off of eBay, and I found these, again, you can find these for surprisingly some really, really cheap prices. Really cheap. It depends on the shape, but even very good mid-grade, these are still fairly cheap. But I had at least issue number 26, but I didn't really see that I had these other ones. So what I'm talking about is Astonishing Tales. So here we have is issue number 27. This will be the first cover appearance for Warwolf, who appears in issue number 26. And this was pretty much during the beginnings of the creation of Deathlock, the Demolisher. Luther Manning, by the way, which again is the original Deathlock in Marvel Comics. And a reason I've been kind of also is I want to kind of build up more of a Luther Manning Deathlock, because I got quite a bit of the Michael Collins ones from the 90s. But some of these early ones, not really as much of. So again, this is number 27. This was a fairly decent mid-grade copy. Not a higher mid-grade, but not super low either. It's definitely in the middle there, so it's still pretty good. Nonetheless, again, there's some spine ticks in there. Not super clean on the back, but it's at least decent enough. But still, it's fine, and it's complete, because it does have the Man-Thing Marvel Value stamp inside the book. So, because again, as I found out, they all get cut out. At least there's most of the times you fit some of these Bronze Age comic books that were being printed with these Marvel Value stamps. Most of the times you'll find them cut out. But here, this is actually a very complete copy, so that's one to be happy about. So again, for like, what, $4, that was a complete steal. And here we have this number 28. This one's a little more lower grade now compared to that one, but it's still a complete copy because it's got the Doctor Doom value stamp inside. The book's still intact, nothing's been cut. But again, the only thing that you'll see is that staple there is kind of indicates it's a little starting to kind of come a little bit off, but still, it's still intact. No cutout, no nothing, so it's very complete. So that was a good, for like, what, $3.50. That was a good buy anyways. A great one. And here we have this number 30. Again, I skipped number 29 because number 29 is the reprint of Marvel Superheroes number 18, which was the first appearance of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. They probably did that because of Rich Buckler and Doug Mensch did not meet the deadline for what was supposed to be number 29, which I believe this was meant to be number 29, but because of the deadline, they couldn't meet it. This got pushed back to being issue number 30. So there you have it. It's issue number 30 right here, Deathlock the Demolisher. So, and this is actually a pretty good looking shape. I think it's even a little better than the one for number 27. So this is, I mean, there's still some defects on the back, some discoloration a little bit on the little, but either way, there's very minimal spine wear, and again, there's spine ticks, a little bit color breaking, but still, everything's at least in good shape. So I couldn't be happy. Again, for $4, you could not beat that price for this. So there you have it. That's all the stuff that I'm able to show you. Again, 10 comics, stuff that I picked up from all of October through a few that I picked up here within the beginning of November. So if you have any thoughts on any of the comic books I just showed you, you can all leave them down in the comments section below. So, however, if you want to keep up with this channel because of you either like what I'm showing you and so on, not only is it going to do me great, but it will do you great because of if you hit that subscribe button, you're not going to miss out on brand new content. So with that, I hope all of you enjoyed. And we're just the beginning of November, everybody. And I hope all of you at least had a great Halloween. So with that, this is the Thrash Head over at Thrash Head's Comic Lounge. I'll see you all till next time. Take care, everybody.